I'm Gary Bell, Lieutenant with the Grande Police Department. A little bit about myself. I've been working for the Grande Police Department for 26 years now. I grew up here in La Grande, and it truly is an honor to serve the community and the police department. And I don't really like talking about myself a whole lot, but this is a great opportunity for us to come and share information about a program that we feel is pretty important to the community. And so if I might, I'll just go right into what we have coming up is locally, it's the third drug take-back event that's scheduled for Saturday, April 27th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we're going to be the same place that we were last fall, and that's just outside of our local Safeway store. We won't be inside. We're actually going to be out in the parking lot area just before you go inside the main door there. We partner on this program with Union County Safe Communities Coalition. They're fantastic to work with. They do lots to help us get the word out and hang posters and get as much participation from the community as we can. And Robin Wortman with the coalition is fantastic. A little bit of history about the drug take-back. This event that we are doing on the 27th is in partnership with a nationwide effort that is sponsored by the Drug Enforcement Administration. This has been going on. This will actually be the 17th event nationwide, albeit only the third event that we've done here in La Grande. They started this in like 2011, and it's 2 times a year, in the spring, usually in April, and also in the fall, in October typically. And the idea behind this is to just give people an opportunity to get rid of the unneeded and unwanted prescription medications that might be in medicine cabinets or closets or wherever you might keep them at home in a safe and responsible way. There's a number of reasons why we don't really want them into our environment. And some of that happens naturally, through human processes, but historically, a lot of times we thought that the safe and responsible way to dispose of unwanted and unneeded prescription drugs was to flush them. And what we found out is that's not good for our water table. But aside from that, we have, a lot of people have heard about it, are aware of it, but we truly do have, as a society, we have a problem with our prescription drugs, the illicit use of them. And so this is one of those efforts in order to not only give people the opportunity to get rid of them responsibly and safely for our environment, but if we don't have those excess or unneeded, unwanted prescription drugs in our homes, there's less likelihood that maybe a grandchild gets a hold of them or somebody uses them in an irresponsible or illicit way. So we really encourage people to take advantage of this opportunity. And keep in mind, we do it twice a year, in the spring and the fall. And we do this in a public way so that, and the first time we did it was in April of 2018. And we did it, we weren't sure, what the level of local participation might be, so we did it just outside the police department. We were outside, but in the courthouse parking lot. We had great participation, and it was such a success that we thought, you know what, let's do this, keep doing this, but let's do it in a more visible place where maybe if we're out where the public can see us as they're just going about their day-to-day activities on a weekend, even though they might not have brought their prescription drugs with them at that time, it might cause them to say, hey, let's go home and get our stuff and bring it back because we see that they're taking this stuff back today. Wow. And so that's why in the fall of last year, we were outside of Safeway. Safeway is gracious enough to allow us to do it there, but it's not really a partnership with them other than just that they're a great partner in the regards to allow us to do it there. But there's just a lot of a lot of activity coming and going. So we chose to do that again this April, and again it's the 27th of April. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But if you happen to miss that, we at the police department, for 6 years now, we have had what we call a drug drop box in the lobby of the police department. And you literally can bring the same items, unwanted prescription drugs. And by the way, they can be over the counter too. If you just you have some old cough syrup, or if you have some allergy medication that has been purchased and is outdated or unneeded anymore, that stuff can be disposed of in the same manner. But at the police department, we have a drug drop box. You can access that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there's no questions asked. It literally looks a lot like a mailbox. You come in and it's a one-way shoot, and you can dispose of those items that way as well if you happen to miss one of the publicized events that we do twice a year with partnership with the DEA. As is required by law, we have to have a sworn police officer there, because some of these are, by law, they're controlled substances. So we can't just allow them to be transferred to just anyone, because once they're received, they're secured and held securely until they're delivered to the DEA for ultimate destruction. But on Drug Takeback Day, for instance, the process is there'll be a uniformed police officer, at least one there. We have had assistance from the Safe Communities Coalition, and so you just walk up. There's no questions asked. We don't ask, what are you disposing? There's no identification required. You don't have to say who you are if you don't want to. It's very cordial. It's actually a very positive and friendly environment, but you literally place the prescription drugs or the items that you're turning in for take back. You personally put those in the box. They're not handed to the police officer or anyone. In advance, we highly recommend, for instance, we recommend just bring them in the package that they are in. But we recommend that you, with like a permanent marker, peel off the label or use a permanent marker to mark out your personal information, names, things like that. If you don't do that before you come down, we have some permanent markers there. So, and we recommend that people do that just for, personal, but so then you drop the prescription drugs or whatever it might be into the box. And at the end of the day, what we do is we secure those boxes, we hold them securely. We hold them in the same location that we do all the rest of our property or evidence items at the police department until the DEA they take possession of those. And then what happens is there's a number of different ways that they dispose of them. Right now, the best thing going and what they typically do is incinerate because what they don't want to do is dispose of them in a way that will contaminate the environment in a different location as well. So. But it works really well for us too, because aside from the individual being able to get rid of the unwanted or unneeded prescription drugs, partnering with the DEA allows us to get rid of those as well. So the ones that we take in on a regular basis at the drug drop box at the police department. It's Saturday, April 27th, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And again, we're just outside of the Grande Safeway store.